Well, Toronto's always a talking point in this league, and I think the reason I wanted to talk about them, and maybe anyone out there listening might have a different opinion, and you might have a different opinion, but I think Toronto's a loser. I think the vision here in Toronto is so hard to see. Where are they going? Yes, from a defensive standpoint, they upgraded. They got Chris Tanev. It's a nice upgrade in the short term, but I'm not crazy about that deal. I mean, 6 years is a long time, and he's another guy that we've seen in and out of the lineup, a lot over his career. So I think in the short term, that's a good piece. But I think that contract has the potential to be a disaster in a few years for sure. Oliver Ekman Larson was another addition that Toronto made, coming off a Stanley Cup with Florida. I really think I think he had a nice role in Florida, but I don't think I think excuse me, I think Toronto is placing way too much value in the role that he played with Florida. I think Florida, he was more of a role player. He didn't make a great difference. I mean, in the series against us in the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't know how many times I heard Oliver Ekman Larson's name. Probably once, and it was the save that he made on Phil Heedle in Game 2 in overtime that would have been the winner. But Oliver, again, I think Toronto's putting way too much value in Oliver Ekman Larson. I think he's going to end up playing way more than they need him to, and his current skill set at his current age is not going to equivalate to what they're looking for him. In other words, I think the Maple Leafs spent a lot of money on some marginal defensive upgrades, and it doesn't address their main issue again, which is still the same thing that's been plaguing them every single year in the playoffs. It's not defense, Chives. It's offense. It's the offense. It's scoring. And to me, they didn't do anything to address that. So that's my take on the Leafs. I think they're losers. You could chip in here.
Yeah, I like that because it's like, all right, so you didn't make the first round. The biggest difference to me that's going to come through is Craig Berube and the coaching staff. Because the other thing I want to mention about the Devils, Sheldon Keefe does not convince me at all that he could take that team to a champion, to a championship series. Now, outside of that, with the Maple Leafs, I thought Keefe in some ways held them back, but I think again, true colors. How often are you going to watch that core and believe in them? I mean, Mitch Marner at this point, in some cases, William Nylander. They've added guys like this before. They've added Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, TJ Brody. They've added veterans. They added John Tavares. I mean, we could go on and on and on. And the players that are supposed to come up, Nick Robertson, Timothy Liljegren, they haven't been as impactful as I think they'd hoped as well. They lost Tyler Bertuzzi. So I feel like it's been a rotating door. I give, actually, in hindsight, Dubas a lot of credit. He added a lot of players, and they did not get results from them. But I think overall, Toronto, I agree. I think the only change isn't going to be the players that they put on the ice. It's going to be if the core changes things.